Hello boys and girls. Today we're going to look at how to create great research questions to guide our research for our information text. Some texts are boring because they include information that's uninteresting to the reader. So today we're going to learn how to create really good questions that get that interesting information that your reader will be interested in knowing. Now, the questions that I'm going to create for my information text on the Eastern Fiddler Ray need to be just right questions. So what do I mean by a just right question? Well, a question is too thin for you to research if it can be answered too quickly. If it's only going to take you 1 or 2 sentences to answer that question, that's not going to make for a great paragraph. It won't really be that interesting for your reader either. So you want your question to be thicker, but not so thick that it takes a very, very long time to answer the question. You don't want a page of writing for a paragraph. Your questions, like Goldilocks says, need to be just right. Before I create my questions, there are 3 things I want to keep in mind. I want to think, what do I already know about the Eastern Fiddler Ray that's interesting and important? My reader is going to need to know that as well. I think, what more do I want to find out about the ray? And of course, what is the reader going to want to know? So, the first thing I do is connect into a bit of experience that I already have with rays. A long time ago, I went on a holiday and I actually swam with some baby rays. Did you know that baby rays act a lot like kittens? They will come right up to you and brush against your legs for a pat. It's quite amazing. And I think my readers will be interested in that too. So my first question, I'm going to write, how do they behave? I also think that where they live is important, and I consider writing that as my next question, but it might be a little bit thin. I don't just want to write a sentence saying where in Australia or where off the Australian coast you can find them. I could expand my question to include information on the habitat or the terrain that they live in. So instead I write, what is their habitat? I look back at my idea drawing from yesterday and I notice again the beautiful pattern on its skin. I wonder why it looks that way, and I think the reader is going to also. So I'm tempted to write, what causes the markings on their skin? But then I realized that that's probably evolutionary and it's happened over thousands of years. That sounds like a lot to write about, so I'm going to change my question. Instead, I'm going to write, how does its appearance help it survive? That seems more manageable. So now it's your turn. Brainstorm a list of questions about your animal. Don't forget to look back at your idea picture. That's what inspired you in the first place. Write as many questions down as you can think of, and then change them. Ask yourself, is this question too thick? Is it too thin? You might need to expand your thinking a bit around that question so that there's more to write about, or shrink down your idea for a question. You should come up with a list of 3 to 5 questions altogether. Enjoy your work.